Today on Falcon Weekly, students are giving back with Shelby Emergency Assistance. The U.S. has a new warship and a 911 call that's hard to believe. All that and more coming up on Falcon Weekly.
Welcome to Falcon Weekly. I'm Dorothy Sherman. Jessie Finch is in the newsroom and she has some information on about the good deeds Montevallo has going around campus. Jessie?
Wow. Thanks, Dorothy. On November 8th, the American Foundation for Suicide will be holding its annual Out of the Darkness Walk to raise the prevention of suicide. The 5K walk will be held at Herdmont Park on Highway 119 from 3 to 5 p.m. Registration will begin at 1:30 on the day of the event. You can also pre-register online at outofthedarkness.org. There is no fee required. The Delta Gamma sorority figured out a way to make a splash on the charity scene and have fun at the same time. Falcon Weekly's Matt Chance takes you poolside for the event.
The sounds of summer are not too far away, even though the temperatures have dropped. That's because members of the Delta Gamma sorority know that water always puts people in a good mood and ready to help those in need. The annual event called Anchor Splash involves all Greek organizations here at University of Montevallo. By raffling off gift cards and baskets, students raise money for Service for Sight, an organization that buys glasses for needy children.
Anchor Splash benefits Service for Sight. Our money goes to that, and it's a school for the blind, and it helps people who are visually impaired, makes their quality of life better.
What's made this competition an ongoing tradition are the interesting events that fraternities and sororities participate in. There's swimming with floats, synchronized swimming, and Mr. and Mrs. Anchor Splash. The fundraiser and friendly competition is always a way to promote Greek unity on the college campus.
I don't know, it kind of goes the same way with all the events. It's long like it's all for fun and games, but at the same time we're also helping out people that are in need and stuff. So
the organizers hope that generous spirit will bring in plenty of money to help the children who need it. For Falcon Weekly, I'm Matt Chance, reporting.
Another charity drive that students can participate in is the Shelby Emergency Assistance's Project Christmas. Quentin Collins is joined by Hetty Wagner.
Thanks. Today I'm here with Miss Hetty Wagner of Shelby Emergency Assistance. She's here to talk about Project Christmas. For those who don't know of Shelby Emergency, what is it that you exactly do?
Well, we help folks that live in Shelby County with basic needs if they're experiencing an emergency or crisis, like a loss of a job. So we try to help with those things like food, utilities, sometimes housing, medication costs, but we also try to help with Christmas.
Oh, yes, ma'am. And with that, you have Project Christmas coming up. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. Project Christmas is something that we do every year, and we try to help those in our community that are don't have the funds to be able to provide Christmas for their children, and so we try to match sponsors with the family so that they can have a nice Christmas.
Oh yes, ma'am. Well, how can people? What can people do to help?
Well, there's a variety of things, but one of the main things that would help us right now is if we could get sponsors to sponsor children, and we provide them with a list of 3 wishes and 3 needs for each child, and ask that you bring it in, and we can deliver, or we can let you deliver it yourself.
Oh, what is a way how would people go about reaching you in regards to Project Christmas?
They can call us at our office, Shelby Emergency Assistance, at 665-1942, and they can ask for Kathy Pygott, who is heading the project this year.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, this has been, I've enjoyed your time, Ms. Wagner,
Thanks.
But thank you very much. More Falcon Weekly after this.
In your national news, a Yale student was found unresponsive this Sunday. According to Yale officials, 19-year-old Andre Narcisse of Roosevelt, New York, was found dead in his dorm room by his roommates who called authorities. The cause of death is unknown at this time. 4 years after a deadly explosion of BP's refinery in Texas, the U.S. government fined the British oil giant $87 million because the company still has a quote, serious systemic safety problem. The oil company said they were disappointed about these fines because they had invested billions of dollars to make safety corrections since September 2005. The new USS New York, built from steel recovered from the World Trade Center, made its maiden voyage into the New York harbor this morning. The ship was welcomed by a 21-gun salute at Ground Zero, and a crowd of thousands gathered along the Hudson in remembrance of lives lost on 9/11. The ship entered service as problems continue in the Middle East, where 9 people were injured when a suicide bomber detonated explosives at a police checkpoint in Lahore, Pakistan on Monday. After your weekly forecast, we have Twilly's Tweets and Sports. Stay tuned.
Greetings and salutations, and thanks for tuning in. Let's take a swing at things and talk about every girl's best friend, diamonds, of course. No, not that diamond. That diamond. Phillies hosted the Yankees in an intense Game 4. Alex Rodriguez delivered a go-ahead 2-out double in the 9th inning off Brad Lidge, and the Yankees took an advantage of Johnny Damon's daring dash to beat the Philadelphia Phillies 7-4 on Sunday night for a 3-1 lead in the World Series. Will they be popping champagne or taking a flight back to New York for Game 6? Game 5 is tonight at 7:57 p.m. on Fox. The BCS polls keep changing every week. Texas took a small step forward in the Bowl Championship Series standings, jumping from 3rd to 2nd place ahead of Alabama and behind Florida. Alabama faces a stiff test Saturday when LSU travels to Tuscaloosa. Speaking of Tuscaloosa, Coach Danny Young and the UM men's basketball team hit the road to T-Town to play their season opener against the Crimson Tide in an exhibition game Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Want highlights of that game and catch more UM sports news? Tune in to Falcon Fever every Wednesday. After the break, find out who won the title of Miss Alabama USA, and drunk dialing has a whole new meaning. Stay with us.
Well, in some university news, a famous writer, Thomas E. Kennedy, will be visiting UM on November 3rd at 3:30 p.m. He will be reading from his work in the Palmer Commons, located on the 2nd floor of Comer Hall. Kennedy has published more than 20 books, 200 magazines, stories, essays, and poems. His work has won several national and international prizes throughout the years. While switching around through the state, 20-year-old Audrey Moore of Auburn, Alabama was crowned Miss Alabama USA 2010 Saturday night at Samford University. She will represent Alabama in the Miss USA pageant in April 2010 at the Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. Unusual news in Wisconsin this weekend featured a 911 call from Clark County resident Mary Stray reporting a drunk driver. It wasn't long before the dispatcher realized she was actually reporting herself.
Clark County 911.
Somebody's really drunk driving down Granton Road.
Okay, we're on Granton Road.
There's only like 6-mile drive through Granton and Neillsville, and
Which way are they going?
they are going
Towards Granton or towards Neillsville?
towards Granton.
Okay, are you behind them or
No, I am them.
you am them?
Yes, I am them.
Okay, so you want to call and report that you're driving drunk?
Yes.
Stray was told to pull over and wait for police. After failing her field sobriety test, she was arrested on charges of driving while intoxicated. Well, that's all we have for today. For Twilly Cottingham and Jesse Finch, I'm Dorothy Sherman. Thanks for joining us on Falcon Weekly, and be sure to tune in again next time. Bye.